The Department of Registration and Stamps welcomes you all. This video demonstrates how to make leave and license applications using the newly developed Leave and License 2.0 service provided by the department. If the user has already been created, click the Login button to proceed with the application. To create a new user, click the Register button. Now in the Basic Details section, enter the first name, mother's name, middle and last name in the respective fields and click the Next button. In the Contact Person Address section, enter the name of the building, number and floor. Enter street or locality, city and PIN code, then select state, district and taluka respectively from the respective drop-downs and click the Next button. In the Contact Person ID Details section, enter the email ID and mobile number, then select the ID proof from the drop-down and enter the ID proof number. After entering all the details, click the Next button. Enter the username for the profile. For the username, the minimum length is 8 characters and the maximum length is 20 characters. Then enter the password and confirm it. The password must have a minimum of 8 characters. It should contain one uppercase and one lowercase alphabet, one number, and one special character. Then enter the CAPTCHA code from the image shown aside. To retrieve or change the password in case it is forgotten, select the hint question from the drop-down and enter the answer for it. After entering all the information, click the Submit button. After successful registration, the user will reach the login page. Enter the username, password and CAPTCHA code and click the Get OTP button. Enter the OTP received on the mobile number registered while creating the user and then click the Login button. After logging in, the user reaches the home page of the application. The sidebar menu shows different options like data entry and user management. A help file is also available for the users. The document entry information is also shown. Click the New Document Entry button to make a new application. The first part of creating the Leave and License application is general information. Select the property type, residential or non-residential. Enter the location of document execution. Mention who is paying the stamp duty and registration fees, licensee, licensor, or both equally. Enter the refundable deposit and non-refundable deposit in rupees. Then select the rent type, fixed or varying. Enter the agreement period and lock in the period in months. Enter the first date of the start of the agreement. The last date will be autofilled as per the agreement period. If the fixed rent is selected, enter the average monthly rent amount in rupees and click the Save button to proceed further. But if varying rent is selected, enter the rent increment percentage. Then enter the first period of months and the rent amount for that period. Then enter the second period of months and the amount will be auto-calculated as per the increment percentage. Fill in the periods for your agreement as you have decided and click the Save button. The user will be notified of the successful entry of the information. Now the user needs to enter the deposit details. First, select the mode of payment for deposit from the drop-down. If the demand draft or check is selected, enter the bank name, branch name, challan date, DD or check number and amount and click the Save button. If internet banking is selected, select the bank name and branch name respectively from the drop-downs. Then enter the transfer reference number and transfer amount. Select the date of the transaction from the calendar and click the Save button. If cash is selected, select date from the calendar and enter the amount. If UPI is selected, enter the transfer reference number and the transfer amount. Select the date of the transaction from the calendar and click the Save button. The details will be shown in the table at the bottom of the page. The user can use one or more options to make the deposit. But make sure that the deposit amount details should tally with the deposit mentioned earlier in the application. As shown on the screen, the user can edit or delete the details if necessary. After entering all the details, click the Next button. The next part is Property Details. Select the district and taluka from respective drop-downs. Then select city or village from the drop-down. The landmark or location, area type and local governing body will get autofilled as per the city or village selected. Then enter the unit area and select its unit. Then select the type of unit, apartment or flat, shop, office, row house or penthouse, duplex or building, godown, land plus building or shed. Here, the apartment or flat is selected. Enter the building name, flat number, floor number, and road name. Then enter the parking area and mention its unit, gallery area and its unit, and then enter the address and PIN code. Now, select a police station from the drop-down. Select the property attribute, CTS number, survey number, GAT number, etc. Enter the property attribute number and click the Add button. Users can add more than one attribute. The attributes are shown in the table and the user can remove the attribute if necessary. The user can add details about furniture and appliances and terms and conditions for maintenance in the Additional Details section. If the Select button is clicked, a list of furniture and other appliances will be shown. Enter the number of items and add other things. After entering the details, click the Add button. The user will be notified of the successful entry of the furniture. In the Terms and Conditions section, the user can write the terms and conditions in the text box. Then select one of the conditions mentioned related to the maintenance charges as shown on the screen. After entering all the details, click the Save button. When the data is saved, click the Next button. In the Party section, the user needs to enter both licensors and licensees. First, select the party type, licensor or licensee. Then, select the party category. Mention whether the party is an executor or not. If none of the parties is an executor, entering a power of attorney is mandatory. Click the Get Name from Aadhaar button to get the name of the party from UID. Enter the UID number and click the Request OTP button. Enter the OTP received on the registered mobile number and click the Authenticate button. The user will be notified of the successful authentication and the name of the party will be displayed as on the Aadhaar. Then the user needs to enter the mother's name, alias name, and gender. Then enter the date of birth using the calendar. The age will be auto-calculated. Enter the PAN properly as the PAN verification is compulsory for both parties. Name and date of birth should also match the PAN details. Then select Occupation from the drop-down and enter email ID and mobile number. Enter the PIN code. State, district and taluka will be autofilled as per the PIN code entered. Then enter the village and mention the address. After entering all the details, click the Save button. The party entry is displayed in the table at the bottom of the page. The user can edit the details and also delete the parties. Using the same steps, add all the parties. Now the user needs to set a challan name for one of the parties. Then select one of the parties as a presenter. Then click the Verify PAN button and the system will conduct the verification. PAN verification of both parties is mandatory. After performing all the actions, click the Next button. Now the user needs to enter the identifiers. Select the identifier type, Common Identifier to all or Party-wise identifiers. If Party-wise identifiers is selected, then the user needs to select the party and then add the identifiers for the party. 2 common witnesses for all parties are compulsory for common identifiers to all, and 2 identifiers for each party are compulsory for party-wise identifiers. Now enter the full name of the identifier, age and gender. Then enter the mobile number, PIN code and address of the identifier. After entering all the details, click the Save button. The user will be notified of the successful identifier entry. Add all the identifiers using the steps mentioned. The identifiers list will be displayed as shown on the screen. The user can edit or delete the entries. Click the Next button to proceed further with the application. Now the user is shown the draft. The user can verify the details from here. User can view the draft in both English and Marathi and can download the draft as well. After checking the draft, click the Next button. In the next part, the user needs to calculate and make payment for the stamp duty and registration fees. The user needs to click the Calculate and Save button to get the stamp duty calculated. The user will be notified of the stamp duty update. Then the amount of registration fees, stamp duty, and document handling charges will be displayed on the screen. Click the Make Payment button to complete the payment. The user needs to confirm for the payment submission. Then the user will be redirected to the Pay to IGR portal. All the details entered while making the application will be auto-fetched here. The user needs to tick the Terms and Conditions box and then click the Send OTP button. Now, enter the OTP received on the registered mobile number and click the Submit button. The user will now reach the GRAS portal. Here, complete the payment. Perform the DHC payment using the same steps. After completing the payment, the user needs to enter the payment details. For stamp duty and registration fees, enter the GRN, Challan date and Challan amount and click the Save button. And for DHC, enter the PRN number and PRN amount. Now the next part is Party and Identifiers execution. The user must have a web camera and biometric device to complete these steps. Follow the instructions mentioned here. The first thing is capturing the photo of the party. Click the Photo Capture button, a pop-up will appear on the screen. Click the OK button. The web camera will get started. Take the snapshot and save it. The user will be notified of the successful photo upload. Now click the Fingerprint Capture button. A pop-up will appear on the screen. Click the OK button. Now select the biometric device, Mantra or Secugen. Click the Capture Fingerprint button and put the finger on the device. Click the Save button to save captured fingerprint. The user will be notified of the successful fingerprint capture. Next, the user needs to perform eKYC. Click the eKYC button and submit the consent for authentication. Now select the biometric device, Mantra or Secugen and enter the UID number. Tick the Rules and Conditions box and click the Capture button. Put a finger on the device. The web response will appear on the screen. Check the information and click the Verify button. The eKYC is verified. Complete the photo capture, fingerprint capture, and eKYC of all the parties and identifiers. Next part is tenant information for police records. Here the user needs to fill in tenant's permanent address and previous address. If the permanent or previous address is current address, tick the box and the information filled in earlier will be auto-fetched here. Enter the work details and click the Save button. Now enter the tenant's family details. The user can add one or more family members. Click the Save button, the records will be saved successfully. Click the Next button to go for the Final Submission tab. The user can upload the supporting documents following the instructions at the top of the page. Before making the final submission, the user can see the final draft and police information report. Click the Submit Document button to make the final submission. On the home page, the user gets a notification saying the application is successfully submitted. The status of the application also gets updated. When the SRO accepts the application, the user can see the status updated to successfully registered. Then the user can download the agreement. Users can download Index 2 and the receipt as well.